Hi, I'm Matthew, and today I'm going to talk to you about a passion of mine. Have you ever wondered why every single dentist office you find yourself in has a fish tank, or why so many people have them in their homes? Well, the answer lies in the fact that all people are plagued with the same human conditions. Through variety, health benefits, and the ability to create some happiness, fish tanks are extremely important. One of the most dreaded things about raising children is having to take them to the dentist or doctor office for a checkup. When you arrive, get checked in, that is to say, if you're able to drag your screaming children inside, you'll likely see two things in the waiting room. You'll see a section for toys and a fish tank. Now, this is no coincidence. When designers of waiting rooms of doctor's offices and dental offices are designing the waiting rooms, they'll likely think of the same thought. Toys calm kids down. That makes sense, right? But why the presence of a fish tank then? Well, according to Deborah Cracknell, a marine biologist and lead researcher at the National Marine Aquarium in Plymouth, United Kingdom, she cites a study by Kasherbeck and Siegel that concludes participants who were instructed to observe an aquarium before dental surgery experienced significantly less stress and anxiety than the control group. Essentially, this proves that while toys are great for calming kids down, fish tanks accomplish the same thing, but for adults and children alike. In addition to the business sector, fish tanks can be great at the home as well. Cracknell also cites a study by Kid and Kid that occurred in 1999, which concludes that 70% of aquaria owners describe their fish tanks as calming and stress reducing. Now, all of that data is great, but I would like to convey to you on a more personal level the importance of fish tanks. So, when I come home from a stressful day of work or school, the last thing I want to do is come home to an empty room. That's essentially why I decided to get a fish tank. In addition to, I really find it very relaxing and stress reducing, but the maintenance required actually makes me feel a greater sense of purpose, which is also a plus. Now, these benefits are great, but that's not all that the fish tank's limited to. In fact, fish tanks are actually effective in helping people with Alzheimer's. For example, a study by Purdue News found that Alzheimer's patients who were exposed to fish tanks ate 21% better than they did before. Now, the reason why I decided to bring that statistic up is it hits home to me. See, I had a great-grandfather who was plagued with Alzheimer's. And in fact, in the later stages, I vividly remember when I was a child, my grandmother desperately just trying to get him to eat food. And he just wouldn't eat it. And it really sucked. In hindsight, I really wish I would have been able to convey to her the importance of having a fish tank. It may have helped extend his life a little bit. Now, all that's great, but one of the problems in my life is variety. I can never find variety in my life, no matter what hobbies I try, until I got into fish tanks. Fish tanks are great because they do offer a lot of variety, whether you want to have a tiny little tank with one fish or an entire ecosystem inside of your living room. You'll have plenty of animals to choose from. In fact, though not all can be kept, National Geographic cites that over 32,000 fish species exist in the world. But despite this, most people do tend to go for a little betta fish in a little tiny fish bowl. But even then, you've got 73 species of betta fish alone, according to Jeremy Wren. But for more advanced aquariums like myself, there exists a saltwater tank. And I bring this up because there is a lot of variety offered within those. For example, corals, which are essentially animals that don't move, surprisingly, that come in variety of colors. Just any color you can think of, you can find it. This is important because there are over 4,820 known species of coral. That's a lot. Now, I'm going to talk about something else, because variety and health benefits are very important, but I think human joy is also important. So, for some people, including myself, sometimes the best thing in life about fish tanks is going to a fish store. In fact, there's a fish store called Austin Aquadome that I like to take a friend to. And every single time I go in there, I find myself just completely immersed, From the bubbling of the filters to the awesome selection of corals, you'll never have a dull moment in there, and it just brings so much joy to me. So essentially, fish tanks are important, and I've proven that through their health benefits, variety, and happiness. They can create some happiness as well. You know, though fish tanks are present everywhere, they're often overlooked. And it's kind of sad because in life, as it becomes more complicated in our 21st century world, it's so important to just observe the little things. Like the beautiful movements of a baby shrimp who is hiding, can't get him to come out. Or the flow of corals. So I truly believe that fish tanks will be the fascination of humans for years to come.